to wide receiver. Speaking of wide receiver, who's going to be starting at wide receiver for Oklahoma coming up next weekend? We'll discuss.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all that every day, or subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Brent Venables hinted at the possibility of Deion Burks and Jalil Farooq maybe being back this week. Fingers crossed. I'm going to believe it when I see it, but we're going to monitor it.
I am in that exact same camp as you. For me, until I see them,
I've been hurt too much.
Yeah, I've been hurt way too much as well. I'm exactly in that camp. Until I see them show up as probable on a injury report, I don't believe anything.
Yep.
If they show up as questionable, I'm out. They ain't playing in my eyes. Anybody that shows up questionable tells me you are not playing. And they could even come from questionable going all the way into being able to play. I'm still going to say you ain't playing until you're on the field. But if they show up as probable on Wednesday's report, your boy's going to be excited.
Cooking.
That's going to warm me up. And that show for Thursday morning going to be on fire because I'm probably going to be dancing. We're going to be screaming. We're going to be hollering. We're going to be hooting. All of that's going to be happening. If we can get back those two before this game, not only will it be kind of a tough one for Missouri because they really won't have much film on either one of them, but that opens up the entire offense even more. You'll have your wide receivers that know how to get open and move around, not only speed-wise, just physicality. Because Jalil Farooq, if anything, he's going to play hard. I feel like him and Javonte Barnes are like your hardest working dudes. Like, they're just going to play hard, and they're going to do what they need to do. Like, Farooq has had so many moments where, we have kind of been a little bit in and out on him. But the one thing you can't say he doesn't do is work hard and find a way to get open and find a way to get to spots where the quarterback is comfortable. And I think Jackson Arnold's very comfortable with him. He was, even after, with the Arizona game. He still kept feeding him the ball because he knew that he was going to find a way to get to a pocket where he can catch that pass. I want to see some of the younger guys too. I want to see more Zion Kearney. I want to see him out there. He got a catch from Michael Hawkins at the end of the game. That was cool. I want to see more of him en route. Now, I know that Emmett Jones is probably working with him to get him prepared for next season. He's the one that I'm leaning in heavy on because I think that he can be something special. You get him the ball. Of course, Brennan, hopefully he's healthy. I know that hip was a little weird, and he may have injured himself with that when he fell. I'm hoping that he gets better. But if anything, give me Kearney. Give me Hester. The Hester agenda continues. I don't care what nobody says. JJ Hester's agenda continues as he keeps doing stuff that we need in order to get some dubs. But this is also, remember, this is a revenge game for him. He's coming from Missouri. That's his former squad. So you have Theo Weiss on one side, who came from Oklahoma and went to Missouri. JJ Hester from Missouri, coming to Oklahoma.
Yeah, you're going to still see a lot of JJ Hester. I mean, for some of the inconsistency that you get out of him, he's been one of your more reliable receivers outside of Jacob Jordan. Like, Jacob Jordan is your starting slot unless Deion Burks is back. If Deion Burks is back, then he's going to slide right back into the slot. Jacob Jordan will get opportunities in a rotational role. You'll have JJ Hester. If Jalil Farooq is back, then you've got then to me, I run Jalil Farooq right out there with the starters because he's a dude that you can rely on to give you a good effort, to give you good energy, to just play tough and play physical. And honestly, see what he's got, man. If he's on that first series, if he's good and he's ready to run, then by all means get him out there. But if you see that, okay, he's not quite ready, then you found out quick and you can go to a Zion Kearney or an Ivan Carrion who each had a little over 20 snaps in the game against Maine. If Brennan Thompson is unable to go this week, we'll have to monitor that injury situation when the injury report comes out on Wednesday.
Right.
But you've got to figure out what these young wide receivers can do. You've got to figure out how they're going to be able to help you, not just this year, but in years to come, because at some point now, a lot of the injured wide receivers will probably be back next year, but at some point down the line, you're going to need Ivan Carrion and you're going to need Zion Kearney to be a big part of your offense. So continue to get them snaps, get them reps, develop them so that they've got all this experience to learn from and grow from.
Yep.
There's no time like the present. And I think you're right. Zion Kearney needs to play a little bit more. He does have the ability to be a Jalil Farooq type, right? In this offense, somebody who can win in the short to intermediate, somebody who can win downfield from time to time. He's not going to be a burner that's going to be running go routes and just running by people, but he can do some of the over route things, running the deep outs, the deep curls, and win in that way because he can be a physical player. He just has to learn how to do it at the collegiate level.
Yeah, he's gonna be your possession guy. He's gonna find a way, get into the pocket, get open, and that's what I want to see more out of him because I know that he'll have that capabilities. And then at some point, he'll show off his ability to break tackles and just bounce and make big plays on the outside. But you're right. With the young players, you're gonna need to just get them extra reps. You can't fully rely on your veterans anymore. We just had a whole season where 5 of them was out. So obviously you can't rely on them fully until they show you that they can be relied upon. It's no shade to them. It's just the reality of life. You got to make the best ability is availability. And we've got to play with who's available right now. The good thing is that Brent Venables mentioned that both Burks as well as Farooq have both been running the last couple of weeks. So it ain't just like this weekend gonna be the first time actually training. They've been doing it for the last few weeks and basically ramping up. Now the question is, are they ready to go ahead and move? I think that Farooq will probably be because this is at the end of his 8 weeks when it comes to the surgery that they said he had to have. So this is at the long side of it. It was 6 to 8 weeks. We're about the 8 weeks now. He should be able to come into this, and if he was healthy at 6 and they gave him 2 weeks to get back in shape, we should be able to see Farooq at a good 80% of his win capacity for this game. And I know he's gonna step up for this game. It's a game where it seems like everybody has a lot of interest in. So I don't think that it's a bad thing that this is the one that we get both him and Burks back. I just hope that Burks is good and healthy and he can go out there and start dusting some folks. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm ready to see Jackson Arnold with a full complement of his wide receiver talent for the rest of the year. It's time. Listen, again, nobody's going to feel sorry for Oklahoma in the injury situation, but you can't talk about this team without talking about the injury situation and how that's impacted the offense. You can't. It's a part of it. Seth Luttrell's play calling and offensive design obviously was a part of it as well, because we're seeing what Joe John Finley's been able to do with largely the same players, a much more effective offense. But still, how much better would this offense be if you had a Deion Burks in it? If you had a healthy offensive line, it would be a lot better. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out and how that plays out against Missouri, against Alabama, against LSU, with maybe a more healthy wide receiver crew. And that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Also, check out his channel, Unfair Sports. Myself at John Knight Williams. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all the social media platforms. So go follow us wherever you do your social media-ing. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. Boomer.
Sooner.